Welcome to the Think Like, an engineer podcast where we discuss how to navigate life with the mindset of an engineer with your host, Ibukun Adeni.
Okay, so you guys introduce yourself, Tony.
All right. So, start with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my name is Tony Eraga, a software dev. Not really much that I can say for now, but basically, good to be here now. Happy to be here.
Okay, software developer. How many years experience?
Okay. Years experience about 2-3 years experience in full. It's been a very crazy journey.
Okay.
So,
Shedrack.
Yeah, my name is Shedrack Ekpo, and I'm also a software engineer. About that same 2-3 years, but like the earlier part was mostly, understanding the CS fundamentals and core parts of software engineering.
So like learning, how long were you learning and how long have you been working?
Working is, let's say, around roughly 2 years. But
you've been working for about
learning.
2 years.
Yeah,
okay, so 3 years altogether. How long have you been working?
Approximately 2 years.
Approximately 2 years as
2
well
years.
now.
As well, not bad.
Approximately,
a year,
which means
and
it's still a year,
some,
some months or something, but
Yeah, and
approximately 2 years.
Yeah. So what? How did you get into? How did you start? Did you guys study computer science? Like, how did you?
Oh, funny story. Funny story. I actually did English literature. Yeah, that's what I did in university. Very funny story. So basically,
So no science background, nothing.
Like no science
For me,
background.
like, there's a science background. Wait,
now
science.
when you say about like secondary school, did you have any science background in secondary school?
So funny thing is that I never, like, the first stuff about like coding I saw basically was a friend who shared me like an HTML PDF on my so I think I was in 300 level then in my school, just in my room one day. Then one of my friend, he was just like, okay, he came to my room. He's a tech, not really a tech guy, but he knows stuff about like computers. He likes computer stuff basically. So I was like, okay,
what school?
Uniben.
Okay.
University of Benin. So
when some people were doing cultism.
At the time I was there, that had really reduced.
Okay.
So like everyone was now thinking about productive things, not really derogative stuff like that. But it is what it is. That's what we are known. That's what they are known for. I'm not there anymore. So he shared the PDF. I think that was an HTML PDF, and I had the laptop. I wasn't using my laptop for anything at that point. I think I had some PES games. Like, I think it was PES 2019 or 2018 then. I was using my laptop to play games. So I started with HTML.
So you started in year 3?
Yeah, I started like looking at HTML stuff.
Okay, just playing around.
So you get like, okay, so this is what coding is. This is what's like they talk about when they say coding, like HTML. Like, I was like, man, I need to learn this thing. But I didn't really have anybody that was going to put me through, or like, so I kind of like laid back on it for a while until I met one guy that he was working while we were in school. Yes, he was working as a developer while we were in school. So I got interested. I was like, okay, what do you like? What do you do? How is it? If I want to go about this, what do I do basically? How do I get into this whole stuff? So he now explained to me, like, I saw that he was cool. He was in school and he was making money. Like, not to sound materialistic, but he had a Mac. Like, he had like a chill iPhone, and he had like a chill like apartment, and it was cool. I was like, bro, how far now? What's going
on?
How did you get all this stuff from coding? And I was like, yeah, and this young guy. So I was like, I got interested, and he shared some stuff with me, like some YouTube videos. He told me about some courses that he paid for. Me, I couldn't pay for courses back then, so I just like watched the materials on YouTube that he sent me, and I couldn't still understand anything, to be honest. So I said, I need to learn this thing. I need to learn this thing. So one day I was just scrolling on IG playing around, and I came across her academy. I was like, okay, her academy. Maybe I can learn coding here. Oh. So that was always been in my head. You get, since like while I was in school. So after leaving school, I was, okay, what's the next step now? I said, okay, the next step before service comes and all that, let me just go and learn this coding. On the website of her academy, if you go there, you see like, okay, there's a 3 month. Okay, that time there was like a 3 months program. I was like, okay, I can be a developer in 3 months, and I'll start making money. Oh, fine, that's good, that's dope. So let me try it. Let me just switch off from everybody and focus on this thing for 3 months and see what's going to happen. So, yeah.
What was your experience like? You said you had science.
Yeah. So
What sciences? Secondary school, you were a science student.
science students.
University.
I'm studying
Mhm.
computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah.
Proper.
Yeah. So like the whole CS fundamentals,
Mhm.
like I said, and everything. So I think pretty much earlier on I was looking into
What uni? Sorry.
University of Lagos.
Lego Unilag.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I was earlier on looking into going into the field of networking, right?
Mhm.
Because my previous experience of how I perceived knowledge was that it's something that, it has to be stored up in your brain,
Mm.
right? It just has to be there.
Mhm.
And, I was like, when I was learning programming, it was like, oh, unlike when you start the software engineering career, you Google a lot of stuff. You literally can't write a full 100 lines of code straight from your head, except if it's just basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I have to put this whole tutorial inside my head. It's like you have to learn everything.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that we're actually researchers. Like
Yeah,
I feel like that's our
basically.
side hustle. we read a lot of articles.
That's what you do. Basically, almost like
every day
every
you
day.
work, you have to read like
Yeah.
tons of articles, filter things, and tweak them to fit your own use case and all of that. So I think that was what killed my vibe towards programming. I'm like, I can't put this whole tutorial inside my head. Come on and stuff. So I started with Java. I tried HTML and CSS. I was very impatient. CSS is like pap to me in food. There's no expert who can cook pap or
Yes.
properly. There's one day you might just put in a small amount of water and this is alright. This is alright. I feel like it's very disrespectful to people that cook and all of that. So I was pretty impatient with that. And then I tried Python, right? And then it was like, oh, this is cool, right? But then on the long run, I think when I got into object-oriented programming or something, it was sort of like a weird concept to grasp. And I'm just like, dang it, let me...
All this now, where were you? Was this in university or
Yeah.
after?
Yeah,
in university. You were, okay, so
Yeah.
let me ask. So
Okay,
in university...
so for the after part, right?
No, I want
okay.
to even find out more about university.
All
So
right.
like in university, you learning Python, Java, this is not like school curriculum more.
Oh, yeah, it's actually school curriculum.
Okay,
Like,
so you
get
guys
to
did
learn
classes
those things, you get to
in
learn.
so like that means in your own experience in university, you guys were coding like in school. Because my own experience in university, computer science, I did, in fact, how I got into programming was when I graduated from computer science. I just my mother said, go and write your CV, go and give this person. I just went to my room, open computer, and let me write CV. I just started crying.
Wow.
I started crying. I said, hey, Ibuku,
So-
you have to go and apply for a job. You don't know anything. Yeah, I said, God, I've wasted my life.
Yeah.
So, like, that was my own experience. It was Blackboard, they're teaching us programming on Blackboard.
Yeah.
Do you get? So, was it different for you? Because now you're saying I wish you do HTML, CSS. They taught us HTML, CSS on Blackboard.
Yeah, so this was in, the whole last strike is still like pending for me. So I'm still like around my finals now.
Oh, you're still in school?
Yeah.
Mad,
Yes, this is cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
man. We need to put
man.
one sound.
Five-
One clap. Mad.
Alright,
Wow.
so I've been doing this for like past 6 years now. It's not a 4-year course. I've
Okay.
been done and everything, the whole COVID and everything that's happened. So, but yeah, this was in like everything I've spoken about now was
Yeah.
in maybe year 1 to year 3.
Okay.
Right. So that was around say 2018 thereabout. So, and then for a full year, the whole of 2019, I was more of into networking, right? I went for competitions, represented the uni and all of that. There was one time when I was supposed to go to, I think, China or South Africa for this competition, but it didn't work out, right? Because we didn't like make it to that level. So it was like, oh, bro, you hit rock bottom again. Because like this was something you were looking towards, having a future in and everything. So at that point, it was like, okay, go back to the drawing board. What's going to happen moving forward? Because I was sort of looking at people that are into networking and, you know, how they are, like, how's the job market like in Nigeria? So I realized that this was a vendor specific career. If you know those that do networking and all of that, it's like, okay, you learn mostly it's vendor related. It's like if you have this HCNA, CCNA, these are Cisco stuff.
So
HCNA is Huawei. So it's like tied to the organization and everything. So it was like, oh, how do I go about this? There was one time when I went to Huawei's head office and I'm like, oh, the whole Chinese, Nigerians, and you can still see that disparity sort of in how they are being treated and everything, even if it's on Nigerian soil. So I was like, oh, don't think I want to do this. So I had to go back, start like learning programming again in itself. And so I started off with algorithms, data structures. I already had like background knowledge of all these things because obviously CS fundamentals is something I'm pretty much into. So I think that really helped in my understanding of.
So you're able to understand very fast.
Yeah. So I think that's the hack to it, if I'm being honest. Like taking time to grind and understand data structures and algorithms is like something that really fast track any software engineering, any software engineer's career in the whole thing.
Like the theoretical aspect.
Yeah,
like having that
especially
computer
those who
science
want
background.
to work on maybe back end and all of that. It's a really good theoretical knowledge to have because it just helps you, you know, grasp things faster.
Okay.
Piece things together a lot more. So I think that's like a pretty good summary.
Okay, that makes it even very interesting because now we have something to compare.
Yeah.
Somebody English background, somebody from computer science background. Now, so first of all, let's even figure out like from your experience working together, because I know you guys work together.
Yeah.
What's the difference in your day-to-day performance? Is there any glaring difference, like, you know, from like from your perspective, they're saying that, oh, okay, this guy is able to do this, or have you guys sort of like even out? I always say something that it not be by who go gym first. Do you guys? If you've been going to gym 20 years, if I start going today, is it that kind of situation, or is there?
So I think there are two sides to look at when you're talking about this kind of situation, because like people have their own method. You get their own way to go about stuff that they want to get into and stuff that they are passionate about, basically. So right now, there's another like disparity in the sense that like you can't really compare it like that, because I think me, I'm basically front end and him is like back end.
Oh,
like,
you do back end at ErrandLR.
Do you get?
Okay.
So it's for me, it was kind of, I don't want to say easier, because when I started, I already had like I already have this I have this flair for or this like love of like designs, basically, or seeing things that are beautiful, basically. So I kind of fell in love with CSS. You get? And when I started, it felt like something that I understood, because when you see stuff like maybe in CSS, you see like padding, there are all those words, there are things that you can relate to in real life.
Normal English language.
Yeah. So it's kind of when you have that understanding, basically it's kind of easy for you to just like, okay, if I want to padding, you think about it, okay, it's padding now. How do you pad something? Basically. Yeah. So there are other stuff like that. There are other like functions, like maybe like the one console log that is really popular and stuff like that. So console log to console. Like it's
basically English
it's
language.
like basically explanatory, self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You get so there are stuff like that just helps to make it kind of smoother. But when you're talking about other stuff like going in depth basically into the
JavaScript.
whole like
Okay.
into programming and diving into other aspects of programming apart from the web developer stuff like that, web developer or like front-end front-end design, data structures basically, and
Like algorithms.
yeah,
and stuff like that.
algorithms. That's like some kind of it's not really base programming. You have to understand some level of coding to be able to understand that okay, this is how data flows. Maybe if you're using maybe a kind of programming like JavaScript or Python, for example, this is how data flows in Python, this is how data flows in JavaScript. That's how you would know how to like solve those algorithms, basically how to manipulate them and how to work with them basically.
So what I'm trying to understand is
Yeah.
like once you're passionate, like any challenge that you have, you can always learn it. Do you get?
Yeah, sure.
But do
sure.
you think that maybe in future, do you think you can ever consider taking a degree, or do you feel like self-learning can take you all the way?
Right now, honestly, I feel that the best way to go about coding is to self-learn, because there are tons of materials out there that you can use. Basically, you can just maybe the only thing you need is to have like an outline of what you need to do.
Yeah.
If you have that outline, if you know that okay, I need to start to get to this point, I need to start here. Then when I'm done with this, I jump to this. When I'm done with it, I jump to this. So everything has to be like laid out for you. You have to lay out like a plan. Yeah. So when you have that laid out, you can now start going from okay, I've learned this to here. Then I practice what I've learned. Then I feel that it's practice that makes perfect now.
Yeah.
So once you've learned something and you practice it, there's nothing that you can tell me that like that will make you not understand what you've practiced.
So, okay, are you about to ask
Now,
me a
I want to
question?
ask you a question. So now, from your experience, like
Yeah.
you're studying computer science, right?
Okay.
If I felt like maybe my own experience is different, but I felt like if I had to do it again, honestly, I will not study computer science. I won't even go to university. Do you get? I won't even go to university. I like what I feel like I got from studying computer science. In fact, no, I don't even think I got anything from studying computer science, because naturally I always loved engineering. Right?
Okay.
I always love physics. So that's
What I'm at.
I've always loved mathematics. I've loved physics. I don't like biology. I don't like chemistry. Right?
Yeah.
In fact, if you see my school
Grades.
leaving certificate, I had 5 distinctions,
Wow.
and the remaining F. Right? I'm telling you, I have the most unique certificate in the world. I had 5 distinctions because I just knew that when we were going to write the exam, I just knew that these 5 courses, so maths, English, physics. I did IGCSE, I didn't do WAEC. So we had information technology, right? That was my first exposure to computer, which was not common in like regular. I went to a British school, so
Okay.
it was not common in like Nigerian school. They didn't have computer. I don't think anybody ever wrote computer in WAEC. Do you get anything like that? You know. So, but we had information technology, and what was the last course? Maths, physics. I can't remember. One more subject that I really liked. And those 5 subjects, I just knew that okay, I know these courses. I like them. I'm passionate about them. I'm going to read for them, and I'm not reading for the remaining. I did not even read jack shit. I did not read jack shit, and I passed those ones. I did very well. Do you get the remaining? I failed woefully. Like I didn't even get credit. Nothing, 0. All of them, like and so naturally, I've always had a passion for science. So I don't want to credit my computer science background for that, because I'll read material wherever. Do you get? So. There's no. So from my own experience, like if I look back, my son now, if he wants to, then look at nothing. I'll just say is maybe because of like community. Do you
Yeah.
understand? So university was good for community, but you can get
Yeah.
that study in any course, anyways,
Mm.
right? You can get that study in any course. So for you now,
Yeah.
do you, because I'm getting a vibe like so maybe I should have gone to Unilag. Maybe I should have gone to Unilag. I'm getting a vibe like,
This
and maybe
actually
we went
helps.
to school at 2 different times, because I went to school 2006.
Oh,
Jigga, I went to
that's
university
a long
2006. So
time.
computer was
That's a
not what
long
computer
time.
Jigga, like, in fact, you don't even have to have computer safe. Jigga, you don't have to have computer to we had one computer lab that we used to use like between year 1 to year 3. We use this like once a semester. Like all of you, like a temple for all there's one temple where there are computers for all the computer science students. You go once in your head, then towards like year 3, year 4, they'll now increase it for you to once a week or something. So one lab, everybody goes there, and so that was our own experience. It's when you're actually even doing your final year project that you now actually go and read and say, okay, what do I want to go and do? And I start to put things together and actually get a computer and try your hand on programming. Wow. So what now happened was, after finishing, let's say we're 13 in my class. Maybe today, 5 people are in the field. Everybody went into other things. Maybe 5 or 6 people are still in the field because, so that's my own experience. In your own experience now, if you wanted to do it again, going through
the whole process.
Do you think, or do you feel like you have gone better if you went to a coding boot camp? Or
so personally, I feel like about this, right? It depends on, first of all, the passion that the individual has. Right. In my case, I knew that this was what I wanted to go for. Right. Like it wasn't like it was handed to me when I was feeling jam form and everything. I picked this course. Do you understand? So it was like, right from time, I already knew that this is something that interests me, right? And although the perspective I had, it was maybe uninformed at the time, because it was like, I'm going to put on the shades, wear this hoodie. So when you watch some funny movies like Nikita, this guy, all of that and everything, you're like, I like this guy. I like that. So that was like the perspective at that time, right? And then I was like, okay. And I liked further maths, I liked physics. Like you said, I really related to what you said about, you have crazy grades. Yeah, there was one time I did this. I think before I was having like 90s in physics, and I was like, this guy's prepared for this. So it was just something that I naturally liked, and I'm like, these are even the subjects required for this thing. Slow this thing in, because people were like, go for engineering, go for medicine. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to read for 7 years, even though that was like happening and everything. But thank God still. So, coming from there, and then when I got in, right, I think most of these things boils down to mindset, right? Because at the end of the day, granted, a university is a place where you go to learn, but you are not going to be spoon-fed, right? Nobody's going to spoon-feed you. The lecturers are there to guide you, do this, do that, do this, do that. Not all of them, might give you concrete information on how to go about it, but still, you get little resources one way or the other, and the rest is for you to figure out on your own. So far, right, I'd say it has helped at the end of the day, because grasping some concepts is not difficult for me, because that's the background, right? Like,
so you will do it again.
I'll do it again.
You'll go to
the only
science.
Difference is just that I might not go to University of Lagos, because who wants to spend 6-7 years?
Okay, but definitely
then I would definitely do it again.
Through.
And in the Nigerian market, right, most of what we're exposed to in programming and software engineering is just web development. But there's a whole lot of other, there are companies like Google, big tech, Fang. Those guys, I think it's Mang now, Manga or whatever they call it, right? you don't solve problems that are very trivial, right? You're solving very scalable problems.
Yeah.
You're looking at 1 billion users.
Yeah.
You need the basic knowledge of CS fundamental and all those backgrounds. You
Yeah,
can't just
Now, where I agree
true.
and I also disagree somehow, because even if you want to, let's say the most complex thing, compiler construction, anything,
compiler construction.
all those difficult things that nobody understands.
But all the stuff, that you can actually learn it as you go on.
That's
It's
what I'm
not-
saying. You
you don't
can
have to
always
start-
still, because
Yeah.
now the thing is, like, at the end of the day, when you like, there's which journey are you going on? Do you understand? Are you going learning? Are you going to school to work? Are you going to school? Are you going on a career of maybe research and development? Because you can be a physicist and you work in a car manufacturing company and you're just manufacturing cars, building internal combustion engines and whatever, right? And you can be studying how people are going to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I feel like, regardless of where you want to go, right? The materials for you can always get the materials. You get, like, there's no field, there's no place. Even there are people that were on the team that took people to the moon that had no technical background, right? You get, like, I feel like you can always learn anything that you want to learn.
Just to
If
get,
you
just to get
now in the
context.
age of the internet,
Yeah,
you can learn.
it's
You can
easier.
really learn anything you want to learn.
What are we saying that? Are you saying, okay, one, go to university to get this knowledge, or you go somewhere else to get this knowledge, or you don't go anywhere at all and get the knowledge by yourself?
Okay,
Which,
what
like,
I
want to
feel
understand
is that
okay,
concept of university should actually change. Do you get? It shouldn't. I feel like it shouldn't be the way it is today, like this rigid structure.
Yeah.
Because for me, the university majority of what you get in, I think the only thing that is left in, the only value university has today is community. Do you get? Community, alumni. Do you get? It's community. So, like, why don't you just focus on community? Do you understand? So why don't you just build, if you are looking, you probably even build a better university if you focus on just building an educational community. Do you get, where the resources are? You have your mentors, so that's has always been my own thing, because with the current structure of university, I feel like there's a lot of waste of time. Do you get? There's so much examination,
standardized testing,
standardized all that. There's so much waste of time, like they're teaching you so much stuff that you don't need to know. Do you understand? Like, and putting so many people that I want to be on different journeys all inside one ship. The person that wants to go to the moon and the person that is looking for a job, everybody will pass the same road. Do you understand? So, like, I feel like university should be more fluid, and everybody should, because everybody is going to be good at different things.
Sure.
Anyways, and from my own experience, like from teaching, one of the reasons why I started teaching is because I hated school. I always say I hated school. Like, naturally, I've always been somebody that, I'm one of those people that I don't like to conform. So I never liked school, but I love learning. From when I was even in primary school, like, I will sit down, I will watch documentaries, I will sit down, I will be thinking about, I can spend time thinking about how are you going to make a flying car. I can remember I had one, I'm telling you, maybe when I was like 9 years old or something, I had one theory of how to make a flying car that I now told my teacher. The guy was shocked. I would spend a lot of time thinking that I love sci-fi. That's the only thing I cared about. And I couldn't, but when I get to school, I could not function. So I'm now like, so I was always passionate about having a school that would have been good for me. Do you understand? And from my experience, I feel like it can be good for everybody. Do you get, where everybody just sort of discovers themselves and becomes very good at what they need to learn. Do you get, rather than a bunch of stuff that so. For me, school is should just be about figuring yourself out, you know. And that even reminds me, like, I wanted to ask a question about like why is it that why is it that there are some people in this industry, because in this industry now there's white hats, there's black hats, there's grey hats, there's people that do Yahoo, there's people that do legit, and there are people that even do the two, and I'm sure you may even know one or two people in every of these places. What determines, why is it that you feel like in Nigeria now a lot of people want to do Yahoo? Or why didn't you even do Yahoo? Why have you ever thought about it? Me now, I've tried it. I won't lie. I've tried Yahoo. Of course, there was a time where growing up, everybody's doing Yahoo and somebody, but I've been so lucky in my life that anytime I do bad thing like this, I'm the one they will catch.
It doesn't work out.
It never works out for me. So that's how. So when one bad thing has happened to you once, it's like, you know that more.
Shine your eyes. Use your head.
This one don't be your way. And you know I have head for bad things. Like that once you should cast like this, hey, I will confess. I will confess. I'll report. So why is it that you guys didn't do anything related to Jigga? How are you able to?
Go first.
Okay, so I think
because it's the same thing. Like you can have the skill, you can know networking, and even some of those movies they are talking about. I mean, that's Yahoo. Do you understand? Like when you say, one hacker, what they are talking about in those movies, like Yahoo. So if you want to live that lifestyle in the hoodie, iRobot, and the Mr. Robot, why?
Okay, I think mine. Possibly, I think a big part of mine spanned off from religion and, spirituality and all of that, because the upbringing was more of like tailored towards believing certain things as being against God's standard. Right? So that was like the main background of why. And to add to that, I'd say that I don't know, but I'm not just really a fan of how the Yahoo people, how they do their things. Like, especially here in this part of the world, like they are very loud unnecessarily. Like, bro, you just stepped in. We know you just stepped in. Can you please take a seat and, just act normal and everything? But they are more of like, the whole vibe of like, and I'm just so I think those two things mainly, and and my dad also, because he was more of like the mentor and everything, and seeing how he lived his own life and stuff. So that's like what has always guided me and why certain things I'm just not into.
That's dope,
them.
Man. That's dope. Why did you ever do Yahoo?
To be honest, I tried. It. I'm not gonna. To be honest, I tried it, but I tried for a while, for a couple of months basically, and I wasn't seeing any results. So and I already have this stuff in my head that my dad always says the arrogance, my family, that when we try to do like illegal stuff, like it doesn't work out for us. So like I don't know if I'm actually jinxing something. I would think that like, okay, it's because I have that mindset. That's why it's not even working for me. So I was like, okay, since this is not the route, I need to look for something that I can do with my life, that I can find like that satisfaction from. And when creating solutions, when you create something and this shit is something that you created with your hands, and you're seeing and people are using it, and sometimes it's not even about even the money for me anymore. Like when I think about coding, basically, although the money is good, but it's not even really about the money anymore, because if you think about it, if you want to, okay, you want to be working, you want to work for somebody, when does it end? It has to end now. It has to end for you to actually progress one day. And if you're not really thinking like that, if you're not really thinking like, okay, this stuff is going to actually end one day, I can't be doing this forever. I have to think of something that I can do with this knowledge that I have. I have to think of something that I'm actually going to enjoy, basically.
That's
So
sustainable.
yeah, that's sustainable. So once you're thinking like that, and you have that belief, it is not going to be about the money anymore. It's going to be about like the knowledge of that thing itself, because you know that it's applicable in the future for you. Like you have something that you want to do with it, basically.
But the
So-
money is good, yeah.
The money is very, very good.
Same guy that said it's not about the money.
The money,
But
I won't
let's
lie.
even talk about the
No,
money.
it's-
Let's even
it's-
talk about the
it's-
money for a
it's-
second.
The thing is that the
What is
good thing
that?
about coding is that, like, okay, maybe if you're working remotely and you can have, it's not really advisable, but like you can have multiple gigs.
Yes,
And you
of
can,
course.
yeah, you can have like multiple gigs.
Yes.
And like
They're making, yeah.
and you still have time
Mhm.
for other stuff,
Mhm.
basically other passions
Mhm.
that if you want to chase, that's if you're really committed to like a path that you set for yourself. You can have other passions away from, but like the thing that I'm trying to say right now is that like coding is like is something that it fulfills you, it, like gives you like fulfillment and stuff like that. So it's easier for me to see like myself in that part. Do you get?
Then,
And yeah, than other stuff like Yahoo.
Uh-huh.
Like, man, Yahoo is just it's a lifestyle, actually. It's a mindset,
Mhm.
because you are taking money away from people. You are not bringing joy into the world now. You're not
creating any
you're not
value.
creating any value. You are
You're not-
taking
yeah.
you're taking from people.
You are taking away.
Basically, it's just that, okay, there are some people that argue that it's because situation of the country, but the country has made it. Everybody is actually doing one thing or the other in this country. Everybody in Nigeria, if you're actually if you're rational, if you're a rational person, and you're thinking about like your future, you would want to do something in this country, because this country is too difficult to stay to stay without doing anything, basically, to stay idle.
Mhm.
It's too difficult, so you need to do something. You always have to.
Actually, I agree because like
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, the biggest challenge I've always faced has always been human resource.
Yeah.
There's never been enough staff. There's never been staff. In fact, the first reason, apart from when I started learning, when I started learning coding, I was, my brain was like this disorganized room, one library with all the books on the floor and everything. Yeah, I started learning coding.
The homeless face.
Do you understand? My head started to arrange. I said, oh, more, this thing makes sense. So that everybody must learn it.
Yes.
And that's
Everybody
why-
should.
So I started
True.
teaching. I started teaching. And now I started teaching secondary school students. I felt like, okay, let me teach people just coming out of university in their gap year between secondary school and university. I started like that and I continued, right? But after a while, I stopped. Do you get? I now started my first startup, passing down knowledge. When you want to even learn programming online, all the tutorials are done by foreigners. Do you get? You won't find any Nigerian that is talking about. Do you get? Successful people don't speak in Nigeria. They feel like, in fact, when I started,
Let me keep this.
let me keep this thing so they don't saturate the market and they'll not be job again. There's that mentality. There's that
Because you
mentality.
update, you
Like, I
cast.
remember when because they know that if they talk like this, Nigerians, they don't get you. If Nigerians know that there's money inside something, hey,
I
they
think
go
so-
rush out.
I think sometimes, like, it's a thing of, does this person really consider himself as being that successful? Because there's always like somebody who you are still looking up to, right?
Yes.
So you can't really say to you, it's just like, oh, these people are admiring. But I still have somebody I'm looking up to. So you don't really see yourself as, am I really successful?
And you see, in fact, that's a
that's
fantastic point. I actually love that point because, yeah, right. But so that means there's a deep-seated even insecurity in us. Me now, like this, even though I know that I'm not where I want to go, do you get like?
There's been a change.
There's been changes, and I'm never even happy when I'm moving and people are not. I don't like people begging me for money, and the only thing I can do for you is that I can be telling you how you can make your money so that all of us can have money together. I don't like going to club and I'm the only one that is paying. Do you understand? Or in fact, I want you to pay for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, so the only thing I can do is to share that knowledge. Let more people tap into this thing. Let more people make money. Let more people get, So that's always had given me like that sense of responsibility of like anything I know, I want to say it. I want to tell somebody. I want to tell someone that, okay, this is, and it has always been like that all my life. So I feel like regardless of where you are, everybody should try. If we teach in Nigeria, everybody, and even welders, you see welders, they'll tell you that if you want to learn how to be a welder, programming is even a lot better. So people have coding boot camps. Go and check people that fix generators. They'll tell you that, or mechanics, they'll tell you that you should come and do 10 years of internship. Yes, now what they call these things, apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Like 10 years before you can, even for organizer.
Wow.
Even for organizer will have apprentice for 10 years. For organizer, you can learn for organizing. You can learn for organizing in 3 weeks. You can learn in fact, in America, in more advanced countries, I always tell bricklayers and everything when they come to work for me, is one person that is bricklayer, Tyler, everything. So if you want to build a shop, the guy will do one person, you collect one person, maybe two. They'll do the person that is arranging brick is different from the one that will screed the wall. It's different from the one that will do the pipe. It's different from, they'll just, like what kind of madness is this? Like, and it's because
labor.
Which division of labor makes sense in a factory. Do you understand? That's the purpose of division of labor, economies of scale, is for factory, in a factory floor, right? But in a service industry, when you're building, it doesn't make any sense. You get every artisan should be able to do should have at least 10 different skills. I can imagine if you, as a programmer, you say that it's one person that writes HTML and another person that writes CSS. It won't make sense now.
It's not the same person that maybe writes JavaScript, that writes,
true, but
not the same.
But a lot of times, that's because even the programming is like a factory floor. But a lot of times, I mean, in all cases, the person still, whoever is writing the HTML must understand the JavaScript, because anything can happen. So you can be called to do anything in any stuff. Yeah. You can be called to do anything in any place. So I want to see more Nigerians dropping tutorials, dropping knowledge, and talking about their career, talking about how much they make, talking about, you guys tell us how much you guys make. I know how much you guys make. I know how much you guys make. So how much do you guys make money?
Let my boss.
You guys make, wait, let's
comment
decide.
on
Do you guys
that,
make
so.
money? Are you okay?
Yeah, I think
Can you rent your own house?
I can say that before I actually used to worry about like what to eat, basically, like daily. I actually used to think about, okay, like what am I going to eat today? Yeah, but now I don't really have to think about that
Good
too
way.
much.
Good way.
Yeah, I don't really
Let
have
me
to
think about that one. Turkey.
I can have preference. Now,
Yeah.
before I was like, okay, no, whatever is there is what I prefer. So
Give me big emperor.
I remember in Hack, I was eating. There's one woman that sells soup, egusi soup by the roadside. One woman, egusi soup and pounded. Everything is 500. Everything is 500, and then when you eat it, trust me. Okay, we go and eat that's yam. Sorry, eba and egusi, maybe around 12, 1. That will carry you till maybe like the evening or like night. Then you can now maybe eat chips or something, so you can stay awake. Because if you eat something, you might become like heavy and sleepy, stuff like that. But you can eat chips. Then man, you're good for the day.
So massive, I remember that when you guys do pack yourselves like this, go and buy. I'm sure that one will be missing you guys on campus.
You will sleep after that one.
Like 10 boys.
You sleep first, so that like the food will digest. Then when you now wake up, then you can go about your normal daily activities.
I drop one massive eba like this.
Massive eba.
I will knock you out.
It's you must sleep. You must sleep after you eat that food.
How about like can you picture yourself maybe getting married, having a family, like where you are like in your career? Do you feel like you can picture a life that you can even marry one woman now, have a house, buy maybe not immediately now, but maybe over the next, at least you can see that okay, I'm on this road. You know, there are some people that where they are in their life, in fact they cannot help. They cannot even, there's not a help. Can you see, is there a future? Can you see a future that if I continue like this, you know, I'll be able to marry. I used to marry. I can even born one child, you know, buy one car, at least. Okay, let me start saving. Are you there? Are you at that point where you can start to visualize?
Honestly, you know? For me, everybody might have their own. Everybody might have their benchmark that they feel that okay, they are good enough to. But I feel that it doesn't. There are people that are like that they're not really doing too well, but they have kids, and to some extent, their kids are doing okay. Although they don't really have all the world, but they are actually doing okay. So, but for me, I don't think that right now, or even in next. The thing is that I feel that I need to be okay. I need to be able to take care of like 5 of me. Before I say that okay, I want to do that.
So is this more
it's not. I need more security. Basically, is something that like okay, you know that because it's really a big step.
But can you see yourself getting that security on your current career path?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you can. So there's. So you feel like you're on the road, you know you're okay, you're fine. That if you continue like this,
you know it's a skill basically. So it's something about investing in yourself. So now, if you have this skill, whatever happens, you might get, or if you have a job, you might get laid off tomorrow. You might get laid off tomorrow for one reason or the other. But the thing is that when you have like when you have this skill and you have something, that means you have something to offer, basically, and you know that okay, there's a market for it. And yes, people always. So it's.
How about you, Shedrack? Like how is the future looking?
Man, the future is bright by God's grace. So I'd say that I think I resonate with what he's saying. Although one thing I would just love to add is the fact that, you know, that phase of life, although people are always like, you know, finance is important, definitely, but I feel like there's a lot more to it aside the finance. Like, okay, what type of woman is she? What she bringing to the table? You know, like, how is your trust in God during this marriage and all of that. So like, although the money is important, but obviously it's not just all about the money. If you check people that divorce, some of them are billionaires, trillionaires, millionaires and all, but they still end up not having a very enjoyable marriage and everything. So that should really tell us that it's not just about the money. But like, you know, I'm still seeking God's guidance.
When money enter, love is sweet. So it's not.
Okay, I have one more question though. Yeah. How about Jackpa? Are you guys considering that?
It's a big consideration because like if you hear the tales from outside
From us.
of what you just need to hear the tales to know that like okay, this is what I want.
And that's another thing. Have you noticed that about Nigerians? Nigerians, successful Nigerians, or when you're that's part of being when you're getting comfortable, they don't talk. But the moment Nigerians cross this border, just go on YouTube and check maybe relocation or Visa Canada or whatever. Every Nigerian, once they get there like this, they buy camera, they buy this thing, they are gingered, they become bloggers. They start, they start writing. So you find a lot of, but while they are here, it's like there's nothing to talk about. Nigerians here are not happy.
Nigeria is depressing.
Even when you have money, so you're not just happy.
There are some bloggers here in Lagos now. Like there are some
They
bloggers.
are.
But
For sure.
you will find out that a lot of them came from abroad.
No, some of them
Local
are
bloggers.
actually local bloggers.
Yeah,
that
maybe on
started. What are they
Instagram
talking
and
about?
They'll probably talk about like food, places to visit here in Nigeria,
I see a
or
lot of that.
Lagos especially, and
I see a lot of
everything.
that.
So
There are still some, this, and there's this guy Fisayo that does like tech reviews.
tech
and
reviews,
stuff
exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy he
Yeah.
used to be into like used to be in tech space before.
Yeah. So
he-
at the end
he
of the
went
day, I
into,
think that
like,
thing is
reviews and
just
stuff.
his choice. To be very honest, although yes, there's like a lot of opportunities out there,
Mhm.
right? Like jackpotting, wherever you're jackpotting to, but
So you won't jackpot.
I don't even know, honestly.
You are not yet
I'm
thinking
not
about it.
sure.
But you know that
I
there
don't
are still
know. I can't say
opportunities in Nigeria to get like
gigs over
gigs
there.
overseas.
Yeah, of
So
course
it's-
now, of course.
It's,
Of course.
it's, it's just, but it's easier when you are there.
You guys are
But-
doing remote jobs
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
So, but I'm saying like, do you like doing that remote job here
Yeah.
and actually going there
There to
to
do
do
it.
it? Which one are you? Do you? Because now I know that Canada is looking for people. I know even the Netherlands, so many countries, are right now are looking for engineers. Like even the UK, I know there's a technician visa. And
Yes,
so
yes,
many
technician visa, yeah.
there's technician visa, and I know a lot of people are. I know people. Someone still called me today, right? That she wanted to learn programming specifically for technician visa. I remember, and I'm just laughing. I'm saying this program, it don't be 2 weeks, so not be MMM, not be say after 1 month you got the para for me.
Gets rich quick scheme.
Do you understand? Because a
And
lot of
that's
people
what a lot of people think.
think that you just like I
You
just
just
get
come,
it
you just-
visa.
1 month.
1 month you just get it.
Some people ask questions like, "Can't I do your job for you?" Like,
I say, like-
because you're just seeing me at home, like.
So I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people that want to learn tech specifically to jackpot. So you guys are now even core inside this field. Do you get? I know a lot of tech guys. Everybody don't go. In fact, me in my own generation now, all my friends are gone. Like and sometimes I always say that I can just wake up tomorrow like this will be like rapture. I'm the only one. I'm the only one that is left. Where's everybody? Everybody is leaving. So I'm just trying to gauge like your own mindset. Do you think it's something that you will consider in future? I know you sounded like interested.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested.
Very, very,
considering it's
yeah.
yeah.
But
Because-
you're not down yet.
I'm not fully
Exactly.
down because, like, at the end of the day,
Mm.
right? One, it's a thing of choice, and people have this mindset that once you are going there, everything is soft.
Nah,
It's not
it's-
so- There are people who are there who are still in the
No, but
streets.
you will be okay now. You as a programmer, hey, you know you will be making.
but like, I
But
can't
it's
be
not really,
okay here
it's not
too
really
now.
easy. It's not really easy for them to just take. Okay, I'm a programmer. Then
As
Yeah.
a programmer, you get job or forget. You get job. No country you go to. Even the country says, let's say it's too bad, you'll be making 80K per annum. It's too bad. Say, Jonathan, like you'll be very okay. You live in any kind of house you want. You drive any kind of car you want. You'll be okay.
Are you sure you drive any kind of car?
Any kind of car, as long as you want to drive the car, you get like any kind of car you want, you drive it. It's brand new. In the United States, I know that average salary is about $120,000 per year for
Okay.
engineers. Yeah. Average.
that's actually a lot of money.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of money for
Even
reals.
over there.
And don't forget all the
Right.
things you can even do with the money. So
enough,
the investment you can
how
make.
like they are now like picking talents even straight from school here.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
picking
Even
lots of
Amazon, have you
talents.
guys seen the
Yeah.
Amazon recruitment?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that. I saw
yeah.
that stuff.
Amazon is
Yeah.
coming angrily.
They are recruiting
They're
like
recruiting crazy. They want to pack everybody away from, they want to pack everybody away from
Recruiting
Nigeria.
like crazy.
You know, so and that's another thing. Like there's going to be more room, so more people actually need to come into the field.
Yeah.
You know, we need more engineers. We need, in fact, even we can't even. I feel like we've not even scratched the surface yet.
There are
because the amount
a lot of opportunities going forward though, because like now when you have like the way you see like the trajectory of tech going forward, and you have like Web3 with the whole NFT
crypto,
space and the crypto space and all that.
all those things.
Like
There's so many things that need to be,
and the
not
VR,
talk of even
virtual
Nigeria.
reality
Nigeria,
too,
do you know how many
as
solutions
well.
have not been built?
There's a lot of it's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Do you get? So if 1 million developers come into the market today, there's going to be engagements. There's going to be
I'm
something
telling
for them
you,
to do.
it's the market is wide enough to
accommodate everybody. You know, so
Like,
it's huge.
and it's only going to get wider. It's just that there are some. I feel that there are some stuff that might become obsolete, but there's going to be like a kind of like.
I feel like over time,
Yeah,
what I feel like you're trying to
growth
say is
or
that over
something.
time it's going to get easier and easier to learn programming.
Yeah, it's going to get way easier to
Way
do
easier.
the stuff that we are doing right now.
Yes.
You get, so other stuff will have to take that place. Shey you get. So the space, what I'm trying to say is that the space is growing basically, and like there's a lot of opportunities for you to be like for you to place yourself in. There's a lot of space for you to place yourself. Okay, this is what I want to do in the tech space. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. So there's a lot of stuff that you can pick from and say, okay, this is what I want to specialize in. Like it's just crazy. Like
new technologies are coming out every day.
Every day. It's
you
crazy.
Know, so there's so many places to
You can start yourself
and I
in.
know that I one of the major things that I feel like is coming is that it's actually going to get easier and easier and easier to learn, because I've seen some stuff in like AI that would make
there's this GitHub
Yeah.
Copilot thing that you
Yeah.
can just write the whole function for you.
Do you get it? It will make it so easy.
Those things are scary. Look,
It's
you know,
scary.
like, you want to try to
No.
take away my
And-
job from
There's this one I saw. It won't take away your job. What will happen is that there's this AI I saw for art. So you just write a text, what you want it to draw, or paint, or like a flyer or whatever.
Yeah.
And the AI will just put it out. And when I first saw it, it was scary. I'm like, this thing is going to take a lot of jobs from graphic designers. No, it won't. But what will happen is that it will make it easier to become a graphic designer, and it will make it cheaper to patronize a graphic designer, because a graphic designer will be able to churn out work faster.
Yeah.
That's all. So, and we'll just expand the market. So companies that could not afford graphic designers before will start affording graphic. So what will even happen is that there will even be more graphic designers, because that place where you are buying 500 naira, the woman will be dropping flyers. You know that one thing. The woman will be dropping flyers. Today's you start using social media, and there'll just be more content and more, everybody will just. So I feel like the market will even expand. So more developers will only mean more technology. Okay, so let me give you another answer. See Netflix. See what's happening in the streaming space.
Yeah.
When Netflix started.
Yeah.
Oh, huge, everything. Now today, look at how many streaming options that they are. When Netflix started, it was seeming like, these people, their valuation went high. Now it's dropping because every major studio is bringing out their own streaming service everywhere.
Platform,
And it's going to continue to happen, because it's going to be easier and easier for people to
get
build
these products
build products. So that's more engineers, more, so I can't really, I still feel like there's still a long way, no matter how easy it is for people to learn programming. I feel there's so many solutions that need to be built.
It's just basic like demand and supply now. The
Exactly.
demand is high right now, and it looks like the demand is going to keep getting
It's
higher.
going.
It's going higher.
IoT, when you look at things in
supply
smart
has to-
homes,
Yeah.
there are many apps needs to be built for that.
True.
Do you get? Do you know how
True.
many apps needs to be built for that? When you look at, so many things. Not to even start talking about even in that Web3 space, because everything that's been built is going to be built again.
Exactly, it's going to be
It's going to be
transferred.
built.
Actually, like
It's going to be built all over again.
there's sort of like a, what's the word now? Like there are not so many skilled engineers. Front end is a transferable skill to Web3, but like
The back
it's
end
not very transferable. You have to learn it. So there's like this low key, like skilled engineers are not so, especially here. Just like a few people are trying to
all those
adopt to
type
that
things
technology and
are not common here because of the lack of experience. So is there any final comments, anybody?
Well, final comments. Coding is not easy.
Okay.
It gets easier, but beginning when you're just starting off, it can get really frustrating, and you just have to like power past that frustration, because the payoff is it's not, like I said, it's not really about the money. Although I don't I've said so many times that I'm sure you guys don't believe me anymore, but it's not just about the money. It's for you to be able to do something that you are proud of, do something that you can show people that, okay, I did this is product, this is something that I did, and that reaction that you get from them, that wow, this is impressive, I like this. Like there's no feeling like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
When you say coding is not easy now, what helps?
Okay.
Because I know when you start learning, when you start the journey, HTML, CSS, blah, blah, those ones are even easy. When you start going into like algorithm, JavaScript, and all that, for somebody without a technical background, it's always like, I always estimate it takes about a month plus for you to even know. You'll be reading like this, you'll not understand anything.
You won't understand.
Then one day, we'll just be as
click.
if this God just came down.
It will just click. It will just, everything will click. That's the perfect explanation.
It's about having that engineer's mindset. Once you have that engineer's mindset, that problem-solving mindset, how to take a problem and break it down.
That's the mind of an engineer, basically problem-solving.
Problem-solving mindset.
If you know that, like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to solve this problem.
Yes.
How do I solve this problem with this technology I have?
Yeah.
So if you have the understanding of maybe JavaScript as a programming language now, and you know that, okay, this is how data flows basically, and this is how you work with data, this is how you talk to the variables, and I feel that, like, what you do as a developer, you do mainly research, because you can't really have everything in your head. So if I need to do this, I can research, okay, how do I start with this? Then you have like a starting, you have somewhere to start from, somewhere to get like an idea of where to start from. Then you can go from there.
Yeah. So that's basically so I so it's about that mindset. It's about how to get a regular person to think like that, which is one of the things that I even feel like needs to be added into like secondary school curriculum. Problem solving mindset. Once you have that mindset like this, it now becomes a breeze. Do you get? But it's about crossing that bridge. Do you get the ability to cross that bridge? That day, like that eureka moment where you just I always enjoy when I see that.
So this is what this is about.
So this is because shit, sis. And some people 2 months, 3 months. Some people they will do. They'll never get it. Do you get? And sometimes again, I've also noticed something in some people that when they now get it, when they now finally get it, they now get. Because me, in programming, there are 3 bridges that you must cross. They now get stuck in some form of, I don't know if this happens. I've had some students that they get it, they now get stuck in some form of like ego. That they feel like they're so brilliant. And they will not be able to stop reading. They'll now want to just do everything.
Programming.
They want to do it. They will now not be able to, because you have to now also be able to dial it down so that you can be useful. Do you get? So you can be useful, you can find one place to, because your mind will open so wide that you feel like you know everything in the world, you have the power of God, right? But you now have to carry that mind and bring it back small to one place, because you have to be solving problems one at a time.
Yeah.
Many people are never able to, and I feel like that's even another reason why those are the programmers that a lot of people meet outside that are unemployed, that a lot of people look at programmers as if it's a horrible career.
Yeah, that was true. There was one guy I asked, he told me he was a programmer. So I asked him like, what language do you write? Like he said he writes like a lot of languages. He writes Python, he writes JavaScript, he writes Cisco, Java.
One thing I'm picky about is the choice of words. Like I sort of put you in a box. Like what you say, if someone tells me he's an engineer, you know, it's different from someone that's telling you he's a programmer. There's a high chance that someone is telling you I'm an engineer. He knows more of what he's saying. Like he knows that this software, this thing is basically engineering. But a programmer is just as long as I'm out there in the street, I program.
You know, so you see a lot of people that they can't get jobs. Do you get? You know, a lot of people, they know how to code. They'll tell you when you ask them, when you're talking to them initially, they'll start bragging. Oh, I have this on my GitHub. I have this. I built this kind of project before. Oh God, everybody builds all these projects. Everybody has passed through this thing. You know, when the thing is sweeting them, they're just sweeting them and they get carried away and forgetting that you have to dial down to be able to be useful, because essentially that's what value is being able to be useful to who needs you. Do you understand? Being able to contribute, do you get, you know, being able to contribute to your, and that's where that community, and that's why I feel like, you know, now that I'm doing Hack Academy remotely, you know, I still always have a little bit of double mind, because I feel like that community aspect, because community is a huge, if you cannot work with people, you can't be a functional, successful programmer. Nobody will want to employ you, even if you have the skill. Nobody will want to employ you. Anyway, so that was a very nice session. You know, I'm so glad. Thanks for coming, guys.
It was really chill.
You know.